Hello, lots of new life here in the garden. I sound like an old Blue Peter presenter. I must say that would be rather fun. But look, we've got blossom in this tree here, which we planted last year, and we've got raspberries coming out over here. The lavender is on its way back up, and we're going to plant something over Hannam's grave, which is down in the middle of the garden here. Bay is still pottering around, which I think is extraordinary at his age. Our old Christmas tree isn't looking terribly positive, but we hope. And for those of you who know my story, you will know that I'm recovering from bowel cancer. I was diagnosed in September. I've been going backwards and forwards through various bits of surgery and so on. I've been really lucky. I've not gone through the worst of chemotherapy and so on, and I still look like Santa. Deborah James is an incredibly impressive lady. She has just put out articles saying she's now having hospice care at home. She's only 40. She was the person who presented the BBC show You, Me and the Big C. And Genevieve Edwards, who is the chief executive of the bowel cancer charity, said how important Deborah has been to that cause. Adele Roberts, I think she's a Radio 1 DJ. She said of Deborah that she was an inspiration and a hero. And of course, Adele has also been on her own journey. Deborah has talked about the last 6 months being heartbreaking, but now she is surrounded by the love of her incredible family. Cancer is really, really difficult to survive and to approach. It's every day you get a sort of new little pain or ache, and you think of various terrors, and the only way I think to approach it is to approach it stoically and positively and look forward, and to be as active as one possibly can be. I've thrown myself back into working, and I feel being surrounded by school children all the time is an incredibly exhilarating and life enhancing activity, and one that I would be very reluctant to give up. But I find myself, and I can only speak about myself here, I find the waves of exhaustion that I suddenly have to encounter are simply almost impossible to withstand. And I'm somebody who has actively I've spent most of my life, I'm about to be 61, I spent most of my life overworking and putting in often 2 all-nighters in a row simply to meet deadlines. Television, illustration, the theatre, all of which I've been actively involved in, and politics to a certain extent. These are unforgiving industries, and they don't recognise a sort of a routine 9 to 5 day. They just recognise an end product that has to be delivered. And I think I've been quite good at delivering that product. And the cancer diagnosis has put a brake on me in many ways. For Deborah, she says that the cancer is no longer actively being treated, and she cannot walk. Her body simply won't take it anymore. But she's not in pain, which is wonderful to hear. She's surrounded by her incredible family. She is a source of strength and a role model for others to follow. I should add, the other day I put out a small, I was going to say tweet, but I didn't put out a tweet. I don't really know how to do Twitter. I probably have to go cap in hand to Nadine Dorries and ask her, how exactly do you do Twitter, Nadine? Because it seems to be the only thing that she seems to know how to do successfully. But there we are. There, I couldn't have done this without a political barb somewhere. But yeah, I put out a post yesterday. I was in hospital yesterday morning, and I think I think a certain amount of resilience is good. But I promise, it's it's a toughie, and I'm knocking back painkillers. I am actually okay. I'm fine, but sometimes the treatment that one gets, particularly in my case, where I'm dealing with two issues, not only the cancer but also haemophilia treatment, the treatment can sometimes be really tough, and and the timing of treatment between one or two different centres can be quite difficult to arrange. And we ought to have a more streamlined health service, whether this is private or public, or whether it's a mixture of the two. It doesn't really matter. Our system is not streamlined, and our bureaucracy, in a country which has given itself up to and in slavery by bureaucracy, our bureaucracy isn't really working very well when it comes to health. And I don't think it's an impossible thing to achieve. We need to make sure our bureaucracy is better, and we need to make sure that people who are working in the health service are treated significantly better, are given the proper respect and care that they demand and that is their right, in the same way as the patients are given respect and care that is their right. So anyway, look, have a lovely day for the rest of you. I'm off back to work. Bye-bye.